All right, welcome to This Explainer. I gotta tell you, I am absolutely pumped to share this one with you today because we are looking at a truly fascinating blueprint. We're literally unpacking the anatomy of a viral hit in the finance space. Specifically, we're looking at how automation and algorithms are being used to just generate massive attention. If you've ever wondered how these online creators manage to take incredibly dry data and turn it into, highly clickable, gripping content, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to discover the exact mechanics of how this whole thing works. Okay, let's dive into this because really, this is the fundamental mystery we have to answer right out of the gate, right? How do you make algorithmic trading go viral? I mean, algorithms by their very nature are pretty cold. They're just calculated lines of code running on a server somewhere. And let's be totally honest here, they are usually incredibly boring to look at. No personality, zero charisma. But despite all that, we are seeing people take these emotionless machines and somehow turn them into incredibly captivating stories that pull in massive audiences. So how exactly do they bridge that gap between a snooze fest spreadsheet and a viral sensation? Let's figure it out. Section 1, the dry finance problem. Now, think about the reality of your standard finance tutorials. Usually, it's a super passive, sleepy classroom setting where someone is just kind of dryly reading off a chart. And look, we know from our source material that finance and trading are incredibly profitable niches. The interest is definitely there. But this standard approach, it's notoriously boring. Now flip that and look at the viral angle. This completely changes the dynamic by injecting extreme transparency, high stakes, and automated algorithmic trading. It essentially grabs the viewer from that static theory lesson and just throws them right into a live, high-risk laboratory. Transparency is literally the secret weapon here. It entirely changes the game, turning passive, bored viewers into highly active, invested participants. Moving right along, Section 2, the Algorithmic Edge concept. Take a look at this quote. This is straight from our source text framing the exact concept. I let a custom Pine script trade Bitcoin for 7 days, SMC strategy. So the crucial point is, this isn't framed as a tutorial at all. It's an event. It's a high-stakes challenge packed into a single, punchy sentence. The second you hear that, you instantly know what's happening, what the risk is, and what the timeline looks like. It completely demands your curiosity because it just feels like something you absolutely can't miss. Let's take a quick second to demystify the machinery operating behind this concept, just so we completely understand what's under the hood. First up, we've got the SMC strategy, which stands for Smart Money Concepts. In the trading world, this basically means a strategy that tries to track and mimic the moves of the big guys, the large institutional investors. Next, we have PineScript. This is just the custom coding platform used to actually write these automated trading strategies. It's the programming language that powers the bot. By dropping these real technical terms, the concept establishes instant credibility, right? It tells the audience, hey, this is a serious, legitimate experiment. And then there's this number, 7. 7 days. Our source specifically highlights this 7-day time frame on Bitcoin. Why? Well, by restricting the experiment to just one single week on a super volatile asset, the creator takes what could be a long, drawn-out, boring process and condenses it into a high-intensity pressure cooker. It forces a fast resolution and pretty much guarantees a high-paced narrative for the viewer. This is absolutely crucial. I mean, nobody wants to watch a bot slowly trade over 6 months. That's about as fun as watching paint dry on a spreadsheet. People want immediate, concentrated action. And a 7-day sprint, that delivers exactly that. All right, Section 3, executing the 7-day challenge. Let's move to and see how this builds step by step to create such a compelling narrative. Step 1 is your foundation. You have to actually build or refine that smart money concept and trendline strategy using PineScript. Basically, get the bot functional and ready to trade. Step 2 is totally vital for the story. Set a clear, unmistakable goal. The source mentions passing a prop firm challenge, which, if you don't know, means proving the bot can trade well enough to get funded by a professional firm, or hitting a very specific return on investment on a smaller account. You really need a finish line for the audience to root for. And finally, step 3, the actual recording. Documenting the daily highs and the daily lows exactly as they happen in real time. This daily progress check, that is where the real magic happens, because it's exactly where the audience connects with the creator's own anxiety. This dynamic right here perfectly illustrates the core tension of the whole challenge. On one side, you have the cold, automated script. Pure math and logic, just doing its programmed thing without a care in the world. But directly clashing with that is the human emotional roller coaster of risk. Because even though a machine is executing the actual trades, it is a very real human being who stands to lose or gain actual money. That intense friction between the cold machine logic and hot human anxiety as the days just tick by is the absolute secret sauce. It's what makes this execution completely unmissable. Which brings us to our final section. Section 4, Anatomy of a Viral Hook. Our source material explicitly explains why this hook exploits human psychology so effectively. First off, notice the exact numbers. Vague promises of success, yeah, they simply don't cut it anymore. Modern audiences want to see the specific dollars and percentages won or lost before they'll even consider believing it's real. Second, people crave that raw behind-the-scenes reality. They don't just want a polished, perfect highlight reel. They want to see the messy, unfiltered, and sometimes really painful process of testing a strategy out in the wild. And third, people are just inherently drawn to the mystique of automated crypto trading. There's this deep, ongoing fascination with whether these digital money printers actually exist. Showing the raw numerical reality satisfies all of these psychological cravings just perfectly. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we actually translate all of that psychology into a visual thumbnail. You take a really complex, intimidating block of PineScript code that looks super technical, almost like some secret digital language, right? And you directly contrast it with a dramatic 7-day Bitcoin profit and loss chart, usually paired with a shocked human face. It is the perfect visual hook. It visually promises the viewer that the complex mystery of the code is going to lead directly to this dramatic, highly relatable emotional outcome on the chart. It's logic and emotion perfectly fused together to generate a click. Which leads us to our final question, and basically the thought I really want to leave you with today. We've seen the blueprint. We've seen exactly how transforming dry finance into a high-stakes, transparent 7-day challenge using smart money concepts and PineScript can capture massive attention. But, knowing the mechanics is really only half the battle here. Executing it, that requires real risk and real vulnerability. So, take away this structural knowledge, think about how you might apply this exact framework of transparency and high stakes to understand the media around you. But you got to ask yourself, do you have the stomach for the ride? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep analyzing the structures behind the content you see, and I'll catch you next time.